Okay, yeah, got it. Okay, yeah, that's okay. On the meantime, what these guys join, so let's get it going. Yeah, I think it's recording already.
Yeah, it looks like it's recording.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you're wanting to do? The notes that I have say that you're wanting to get some help with parts and assemblies.
Yeah. Well, I do want to get some help with parts and assemblies because my goal, so you know, it's to be able to put the pricing inside Plan Swift, okay, of the materials, and then be able to estimate hourly, okay, for prevailing wages through the square footage. So I wanna go ahead and have that ability to, for square footage, add the man's hour or the manpower hours, either segmented per day or divided by day, 8 hours a day per, let's say if they're doing drywall, they're gonna be hanging each guy. So you know, because that's where I need help. Let's say they're gonna be hanging 25 sheets by 48 equals 1,200 square footage each man. So, you know, that's the pricing, and then be able to switch from square footage to hourly rate, because I'm shooting this year to be estimating for prevailing wage. That's a goal.
All right, we can absolutely do that. We're going to create an assembly then that has some material parts to calculate your drywall, and then we'll have additional labor parts to calculate the time.
All right. I do have some because I did it, you probably saw my account already. I did it about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, some assemblies, but it was general assemblies. You know.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and open up Plan Swift. And let's go to the Home tab. Oh, so actually just above that, at the very top of the screen. To the right too, it says Plan Swift and then Home.
Yeah. So there?
So right up here, Plan Swift Home. This is where we want to go.
Oh, I see. Let me get this down here.
And I'm just going to take your cursor for a second here. Let me look.
As you probably see, I got Sam template.
This is your template here.
Yeah. But I do want to create the pricing template. And, you know, that's.
Do you have a job that you want to open or upload? Just something that we can work with. It can be for example purposes. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I do. I have it on the, go ahead and upload it if you want. I have it on my desktop. I was going to upload it, but let me, you want to do it?
You can go right ahead. If you want to click new in the top left-hand corner. And then you can name this whatever you want. You could, yeah. And if you'd like to add a description, go ahead and do that as well.
Maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe 2, 40. University. Right. Okay. That's okay like that. Let me see if they're here. No, no, they're not here. Oh, shoot. No, they're not here. Yeah, so it's this one. Okay.
Excellent.
Why is asking for?
It looks like you might have a setting for modifying jobs. So this is probably just going to be the password for your, let's see. You know, if I'm honest, I don't know what this is, so I can't say. This looks like it's from PlanSwift just by the formatting, so I want to say this is going to be your PlanSwift password. But I haven't personally seen this before, but I do know it's something that you can do.
So this is from PlanSwift? This one?
It looks like it. So I think that's going to be your PlanSwift password.
Shit, I don't remember it out of my head. Why is asking for this, do you know? This is the first time that I...
It might be a setting that's been set up on your account. Let's see.
It didn't
I'm looking for something similar on my side.
It didn't upload. I mean, if worst case scenario, I need to go ahead and see where's probably the password. It's on the, I don't remember out of my head like that. Probably it's on the Rovo, but I'm not sure.
Go ahead and try uploading that one more time.
Okay, so let me delete it. Okay. Okay, that's make it. So it's here. See this one.
And that looks like your robo form. If you want to try clicking login. I'm not familiar with robo form, but maybe that has.
But this is just to, I think this is just to, this is just to get it. Oh, this is just to save it. Nope, that's not the one. Nope, that's not the one. Do I need to get the freaking password?
It looks like we do need your password in order to upload the job. I don't know if you're able to open an existing job. And I remember there being the ability to lock your jobs in that way, but I'm not finding where that setting is located.
Okay, so that means I have it. Okay.
So it should be that same password that you just used, if I understand what's going on.
Okay, so okay. Yeah, that one already exists. This is the first time that does this. I don't know that why is doing it, to tell the truth. I've never seen this before. Do you know anything about it?
I'm not finding anything. I remember there being a setting that you can turn on that looks like that time it might have uploaded though. But I remember there being a setting if you just go, I think it might have uploaded if you just go to home above that. No, so right here where it says home, this is where we need to go.
Okay. Nope.
It looks like it's trying to upload.
Let's go with another, but this is something that I don't know. This is the first time that he's doing it. It's all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, this one right here, which I think is what we're in. Let's see. Do you want to see if there's another job here, if it'll let you open up a different one?
But keep that in mind. Keep that in mind that it wasn't doing it before, so I need that resolved. I don't want any passwords that's freaking out of my reach. I don't know how to fix this.
So that's what I've been looking for. I remember there being a setting somewhere that says.
I uploaded one project yesterday. It didn't do it. This is right now. It's.
But I can't remember where the setting is.
Every time I try to upload something, it's going to ask me for the. I don't need that. That's. anyways, let's open another one. Just keep that in mind because I need this to be off my system. I didn't do it. That's the reason that I try to make it simple. Probably the system updated and grabbed that by itself.
And I'm trying to see how we can resolve that. I don't know if it's something that I personally have the ability to fix. Like I said, I thought there used to be a setting somewhere for job locking, which is what it seems like is happening, but I can't find where that setting is located, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on.
Okay, yeah, that's okay because I don't want to lose time. Just so I need to call customer service for that, so they can help me out.
Potentially. Go ahead and see if there's another job that you can open up. And if it's not going to let us, I'll see if we can get a tech on the line.
No, yeah, I don't think another, all these, I don't. Okay, this one. It's just to upload for whatever reason, because I tried a little bit while ago, and but I was busy doing something else. It's just today. Start doing it today.
Yeah, maybe give our tech team a call and see if that's something that they might be able to help you with. But for right now, how about we just work with this job, and we can at least go over things for concept here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the way that I prefer to create assemblies is by doing what we call the build as you go method, which the first thing we have to do is just perform a piece of takeoff. You were saying drywall, so I'm assuming we need either the linear footage of the room or the square footage of the wall surfaces.
Yeah.
So we just need a page that we can scale, something that we can perform takeoff on.
Okay, this is a. Okay, let me open another job. That was the reason that I wanted to open that one, but which one? This one.
All right, and it looks like there's a scaled page right here, so let's just use this. There's a few different takeoff tools that we can use for this in the takeoff tools template. Do you prefer just the linear total, or would you like the square footage of the wall surface?
Yeah, no, well, at the end, it's a total, right? Walls and ceilings. So let's start with that.
We won't be able to do the walls and ceiling on one takeoff. We'll have to do them independently of each other.
Well, then let's use walls first.
And do you want it to collect the linear total of the room, of the perimeter, or do you want it to collect the square footage of the walls?
Square footage of the walls.
So that's going to be this tool right here.
Okay.
The way we turn it on is by selecting this green dot right here to the left. We'll just call this a test for now. And this is where you get to specify your wall height, or how tall the walls are in that room. And number of wall sides is referring to if you'd like to account for one or both sides of the wall. And it really just kind of depends on the area that you're looking at. For interior walls, this can be really convenient, but for exterior walls, since you're not going to do both sides of it, it's probably not what you want to do. So this just depends depends on what you're looking at. And then from here, we'll just perform a little takeoff like we normally would, just point-to-point clicking around the room. I'm just going to do this kind of quickly just for the purpose of an example.
Now, I was going to ask you because some of the plans, they do send it to me, you know, that the sheets are not 24 by 42. And I need to make sure that I do scale them, but sometimes I cannot find two measurements, a side measurements and a vertical and a horizontal measurement. I cannot find it on those different sheets. How can I scale a plan like that?
So you're wondering how to scale a page that doesn't have a vertical and a horizontal measurement on it?
Yes, and it's pretty much sometimes they do send it to me JPEG. There's no way to do that?
It depends. Like you could go to, if there's another page on the plan that has any kind of listed measurements on it that refer to the room that you're looking at, we could take those measurements and just utilize them to double check the page that you're scaling.
But if there's no 2 points of references, let's say they send me six sheets for the whole project, because sometimes they're one single family, and I do want to scale them, but I cannot find the vertical and the horizontal on the 6 sheets. I just found one measurement. Let's say I found the height of the ceiling, 10 foot.
I think I would need to see the page that you're looking at to understand how to help you go about fixing it. Because right now I'm not quite sure I understand the situation in which this would happen.
Okay. No, but if there's 6 sheets on the same plans and I found one vertical on the first page and a horizontal on the last page, would that work for the whole plans?
Again, I think I would need to see the plan in order to understand exactly what you're saying, because it depends on, like, what are these vertical and horizontal measurements that you found? Are they referring to the exterior walls? Are they, what are the measurements? Because if we have something listed here, this tells us that right here, this is 10 feet.
Right.
And we have this diagram on another page, but we don't have these 2 measurements. We know what the size of the balcony is because we can find it here. So even if it's not listed on a different page, we can take what we know from this page and utilize it on the other one because we know what the size of this balcony is.
So let's say if I don't find the 2 points of references, let's say I only find the 10 feet. But on the 6th page, I found the 6 feet. Would that work for the whole plans or no? Or I need to find the 2 points of measurements on the first page?
So you can, if you have this diagram on multiple pages, and on the first page you have this 10-foot measurement, and on the 6th page you have the 6-foot measurement.
Right.
You can use that information on any page that has this balcony on it, because we know what the balcony is right now. We know that it's 6 feet this way and 10 feet this way. And the scale may be different on another page, so you'll still want to use that scale, but we can use this information to verify the scale.
Got it. Did you get it, Brian?
Ni escuché.
¿Ah?
Ni escuché.
All right, all right. All right. So let's keep it going.
So we were just going over and we collected the square footage of the wall surface for this area. I just set the wall height at 8 feet just as an example. I don't know if that's actually accurate to this drawing. But based on that information, the tool that we used is taking the linear total of the room, multiplying it by that 8 feet, and that's giving us the square footage of these walls.
Okay.
Now, if we want to account for the drywall and the labor, we need to start adding parts. And we're going to do that in the estimating tab. So we've already performed our takeoff here. We're going to come over to the estimating tab. And this is the takeoff that we just collected.
Okay.
The parts are located in the templates. So we're going to come over to this right-hand side. This panel is giving us access to our templates. The templates are just places that we store stuff. So it's just like a folder. These are the templates that we have access to. And we want to go to sample parts. Let's start with the drywall. So we'll open up material parts. Later, when we're wanting to account for the time, we're going to go to labor.
Okay.
And in material parts, we're now going to go down to, it looks like you may have changed the name of it. Let's see. Yeah, so it used to say gypsum board. So if you have another version of PlanSwift, that's probably what it says if it's like a fresh download. But this one right here, we want to check out the drywall. And it's important to note here, notice that each folder has in parentheses a different type of takeoff.
Yes, I see it.
And whatever folder we're pulling the drywall parts from, what's in parentheses here needs to match the takeoff that we've collected. And this is a good example of that because even though this is collecting a square footage for us, this tool is a linear tool. So we need to make sure that we use the linear folder here. Now, when you're accounting for your drywall, do you account for the individual boards or are you looking for a square footage of your drywall?
Individual boards.
So then you're going to want to use the ones that say priced each in parentheses here. That's going to give you the individual board count.
Okay.
And the way that I use this is I click and hold with the left button on my mouse. I drag this over here, hover over the takeoff item, and then release the button on my mouse. Now, in here, this is where we get to specify the information about our drywall. If you don't use 5/8 drywall, maybe use a 1/2 inch drywall, we can change that right here. So I'm just typing directly in that line to say that this is a 1/2 inch.
Okay.
You'll specify the height, but if you'll remember when I ran the tool, I already gave it a height. So we can ask it to go get that information by utilizing this command right here. And that way when you save your assembly, if you use it for a room that has a different wall height, the wall height will auto adjust within the part as well, because you'll tell the tool a different wall height and it will pass that information down here.
Okay.
And then you could do the same thing with number of wall sides. I set this at 1 in the original takeoff tool, but if later you need to account for 2 wall sides, that will auto adjust here as well.
So
now the width and, oh, go ahead.
yeah, so the width and the length, let's say sometimes they're 4x8s and sometimes they're 4x12.
If they change, then you're going, is it the, let's see.
Can
Do
you
use both sizes in one room or is this in different situations?
No, different. I would say different projects. When different projects, we use different sizes. Sometimes it's 4x12, sometimes it's 4x8.
So you'll have to come in here and adjust that based on the projects that you're working on. So if it's 4x12 for this one, we can leave it. And then in the next project, you would just want to make sure that you're adjusting that to be
Okay.
4x8 instead.
I see.
We can also add a waste percentage, and then this is going to be the cost of your drywall board.
Let's do it right now. Let's do it. It's 1725.
So you can type that directly in there using your keyboard. And then the markup is going to be anything that you include on top of that for any additional profit.
Normally, let's say 15%. All right.
And then go ahead and click OK here. So what we just did is we created a small assembly. We've only added one part to it so far. But what's happening is the part is collecting the information from our takeoff tool and the specified information about our drywall. So like the size of the board and everything. And that's going to tell you how many pieces of drywall you need. And in turn, that will tell you how much that will cost.
I see. Did you get it, Brian?
Yes.
All right. Good, good. So let's
Now, go ahead.
yeah, let's keep it going. Yeah, thank you.
So, of course, we can add as many things on here as you'd like. If you need to account for your tape and your compound and your fasteners, we can put all of that onto one takeoff. Totally up to you and what you need, but you have the ability to add more than one thing on here.
Yeah, so on the same, let's say on the same room, or can we do it in the whole project?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Yeah, let's say that like this project over here, we're talking 10 units, okay? On this project, on the one that you're working. What you're doing the test, it's only one room.
And you're wondering if we could do it within multiple units?
Yes, with only one, one part to.
With one takeoff?
One takeoff,
One
yeah.
takeoff item?
Yeah, can we do it like that or no? Or we have to do it one by one?
As long as they have like the same wall height and the same kind of materials, so like the same size drywall, you can absolutely do all of them with one takeoff item. But if you use 5/8 drywall in one room, or you're using that 4x8 board instead of the 4x12, you'll have to change it.
Okay, all right. So can you make this is an old project anyways. Can you make on the existing square footage, let's say everything is 5/8, 4x12 or half-inch 4x12? Can you put that part there? That way, the whole project will pick up the 4x12 and the sheets. Let's talk about the boards only for right now.
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Yeah, like over here, you see my mouse? Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so on unit 1, I want to add another, I want to add the board for 4,920. But at the same time, I want to add it on the ceiling. I want to add it on this unit number 2, and then on the ceiling too. So the same board, 4x12, same pricing. I want to do one takeoff for the board for everything. Can I do it, or I need to do it one by one?
So in this situation, you'll have to do it one by one because you've already collected your takeoff information on individual takeoff items. So
Okay.
you've already gone ahead and done unit 1 walls here and unit 2 and 3 walls here. with your individual items. So in this situation, we would have to do them one by one. And we could take the same part. I can right click on this and this will copy the cost, the size of the drywall board, everything that we've already specified. I could copy this and then paste it as a sub item here. It's going to come up with this window that says, do you want to copy the digitizer points? And you want to say no, because you're putting this on a new takeoff item. So we don't want it to copy from the test.
Right.
So we'll say no, and that will apply it, and that will count the drywall boards for this takeoff.
Brian, did you get it?
Yeah.
All right, that's easy. Okay, so can you do it? Can you do it on the ceiling?
But so if that's the next thing that I wanted to mention. If you want to do it for the ceiling, we'd actually have to come back over to the right-hand side, and we need to pull this from the area folder this time, because your ceiling was collected with an area tool. So we'd have to come over here, and if you want to try it this time, you're going to click and hold on this item here, the one that's highlighted. Click and hold with the left button on your mouse, and then drag it over and drop it onto your Unit 1 ceiling. So you didn't quite pick it up. Go ahead and go back over there to the right-hand side. And you're going to click and hold with the left button on your mouse, the left button. So don't duplicate. All you're going to do is use the left button on your mouse to click the button and hold the button down.
There or no?
No, so it looks like you're hitting the right button on your mouse. When you hit the right button, it's going to come up with this window. We need to hit the left button, and we want to hold it down so it comes up like this.
Oh, okay, got it. Sorry about that. Okay. That one?
There you go. Yep. And then drop it onto Unit 1 ceiling. Yep.
There?
Yes. And then you'll have to specify this information again. So either your 5/8 drywall, 1 inch, whatever that size is, and whatever the width and length of the board is, and then your cost as well.
Let's leave it at 5/8, 525, markup 15%. Okay. And then okay. Right?
Yes. And then next to Unit 1 ceiling, there's a little plus sign just to the left now. When you click on that, that's going to show that assembly that you just made. And that's counting out your drywall and then the cost as well.
Okay, so that's for the area, right? So how did you find the area? One is for the walls, and then the other one is for the area, correct?
Are you talking about the individual parts that we used?
No, this is for the walls. And this is for the ceiling, right?
Yes.
Is that on the same part? We use the same one?
No, we had to use different parts because the one that is calculating your walls is a linear tool, and the one that's calculating your ceiling is an area tool. And the reason why we have to use different parts is because the parts just have saved calculations in them. So let's go take a look at this. I'm going to go over to advanced. And the quantity formula is what's helping us calculate how many boards we need. This one's taking the wall area and then dividing it by the size of the drywall sheet.
Okay.
And this wall area comes from the linear tool. And we can see that, let's see, let's populate it, I forget, wall height. So this wall height is coming from our tool and wall area right here. So this is based on the linear measurement.
Okay,
and
so
because this one's looking for specific information from the linear tool, we have to apply it to our linear takeoff. If I were to apply this to our ceiling takeoff, so like the area tool, it would actually more than likely, more often than not, the value that you get is going to be incorrect because it's pulling the wrong information.
I got it. But on the templates, on the parts, you see drywall division here, right? Right here, number 9.
Yes.
And then you see drywall area takeoffs, right? So this is the
Yeah.
this is for the air. This is for the ceiling, or can we use the same part for the ceiling and the walls?
So you can't use the same part for the ceiling and the walls because the ceiling is an area takeoff and the wall is a linear takeoff. So these are different tools. It's the type of tool that you're using that determines which part you're going to use. Remember when we said that in parentheses over here, this says area, count, and linear segment takeoff?
Got it, got it.
Whatever's in parentheses here is what we need to correspond to the type of tool we're applying it to. And the wall tools are a linear tool.
Did you get it,
ceiling is an area.
Carla?
Yeah, I see that.
You see that? Brian, do you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Thank you. Yeah, let's get it going. I just sorry for asking like that. I just want to make sure because I got these 2 guys here with me, so I want to make sure that everybody, even myself, understands this a little bit better. Anything you want to ask, Carla, on this one? Anything you want to ask?
Well, no, I see how we did the sheet sizes, so that's gonna be able to tell us the quantity, and I see all that. I don't think I have any further questions on this specific thing, but I assume for everything it's gonna be the same, right? So drywall, we put our specifications, and then for metal stud and all that with the different plugins.
Do you get it? Did you?
I actually can't understand Carla very well. Can you tell me what her question was?
Go ahead, Carla.
No, I think the problem is that Carla's coming through on your computer speaker, and I can't quite hear.
I know,
it coming back to
I
the
know,
microphone
but
that I'm connected to.
yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Go ahead, Carla. Just speak a little louder, if you don't mind.
That is this better? A little bit?
It's a little better.
No, I was just saying that for this plugin, we specified the measurements to be able to do the quantity. So I'm assuming that it's going to be similar to other plugins for like metal stud or for any other one.
Is your question if we go to utilize a different part, if the process is going to be similar?
Yes.
Yes. So if you want, I think I heard you say metal studs.
Yeah, that's part of the drywall, but we'll get that on the next session. Let's go to the screws. That way, you know, to the fasteners or the screws.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll get there, Carla, on the next session. All right, so everybody understands. Can you help us?
Yeah, and it sounds like Carla has the right idea that the process is going to be similar. And it'll be similar to what we're doing with the fasteners as well. So if we want to apply the fasteners to this takeoff item here,
yeah,
we're going to come back to the linear folder. And then we'll go ahead and perform the same process here with our drywall fasteners. So if you'd like to just have a little bit of practice, you can come over here just like you did before. Click and hold on the drywall fasteners, and then go ahead and drop them onto test.
Here?
Yes. This one does have a different property. Let's just first review with the wall height and the wall sides here. I don't think everyone was here for this part earlier.
Yeah. No, they were not here. They were not here.
When I ran this tool initially, so this is just going back to the linear tool, I gave it a wall height and I told it the number of wall sides. And since we've already done this once, we can actually have the tool pass this information down to our parts. And that makes it so that if you save this assembly and use it later, and then give it a different wall height, it'll specify that wall height without having to be changed within the part. So for example, if I change this to a 12-foot wall, right now this is defaulting at 8 within our part. If we use the command right here, it's the square bracket with 2 periods and a closing square bracket. This command tells PlanSwift to go collect that information from the tool. So when I click away here, you'll notice that this is going to update to say 12. And that's what we call inheritance within the program. So we're telling this part to go get the information from the tool. You might also hear people say the parent item. And then that information is being passed down to the part, which is often called the child item. And we can do the same thing here with the number of wall sides so that that information will be inherited as well. And that just makes your tool a little bit more universal when you're using it in the future. So it'll just be a little easier to function within different situations where you might have a different wall height or collecting different sides of the walls.
Okay. So the cost for the box, it's $80 since you're there.
So we can type that in right here on cost each. Whoops.
And markup 15.
And then the thing that I like to point out here is material coverage. This item is helping us calculate how many boxes we're going to need for this job. And right here, this is saying if we had 1 box of drywall fasteners, how many square feet could we cover with that 1 box?
Oh, I see.
A lot of times it's listed on the material that you purchase. I know that I've done like a quick Google search and found it listed on like a Home Depot item before. But that is something that you'll want to make sure that you input here to make sure we're getting the correct number of boxes.
I see.
But once you know that information and we've given it our cost and our markup, this is going to do the same thing where it's collecting the information from our takeoff tool and performing a calculation to determine how many boxes we'll need to accommodate for our drywall. And then again, as well as the cost that it's going to calculate to.
I got it. I got it. Now let's try with, can we put corners?
What do you mean necessarily?
Corner beads, like, you know, the corners of the, when we're doing the taping. Before we do the taping, there's corners. Is it here or no?
Let me double check. I do believe there's a part for it, but if there's not, we could always create one. Let's see.
Before moving to the taping, Carla, we do the drywall, the fasteners, and then the corners, remember?
Yeah, okay. So when you said that we can add it, does that mean we can add to this plugin anything that has to do with the drywall?
Yeah, so you can create parts that don't already exist. And you have, like you mentioned, you have the drywall plugin. So let's go take a look at that template. This one right here, I click this drop down and I'm just gonna go to drywall and framing here. And let's open up drywall. And let's look at our linear part.
Can we add it if it's not there? Like sometimes we know that there's, let's say if it's a 8-footer ceiling and there's, let's talk about, it's more or less 100 corners, 100, corner beads, 8-footers. Can we create
Yeah.
one?
So we absolutely can. And there's a few different ways that we can go about this. So right now, this part does exist, but it exists for a count tool. So if you see right here in parentheses, this one says count takeoff. And so the way that this one is intended to operate as it is by coming in here, performing a count. Let's see. I think it's just taking a second. And this is saying that we're just going to click on each corner right now.
Right.
And then turn that tool off. So the way that this particular part is intended to operate is by collecting the amount of times that you've clicked on your corners to tell you how many corner beads you're going to need.
So that's on the plugin? That's on the drywall plugin?
Yes, and this is from your drywall and framing plugin.
Okay, so let's say each cost $8, markup 15%. Okay.
And as this one stands, this is supposed to operate with this particular takeoff tool. And it's really just reflecting the point count of how many times we clicked around that room to represent the corners.
I see.
It is possible to modify this in one way or another to have it be incorporated into this linear takeoff. That might be something that would be better suited for a later training, just because I don't know if we have enough time to cover it without it being like quick and kind of confusing. And it depends on the way that you'd like to go about it too, because there's a couple different ways that we could do this.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Let's do it on another training, but just letting you guys know that that's for the corners. So let's move to the taping, if you don't mind.
So your taping is going to be the same way. And I think for the sake of time, maybe we should talk about the labor. So accounting for the time it takes to do this and then saving it so that you have the ability to save these as you're working on them.
There you go. Go ahead. This is the labor.
So there are labor parts within your plugin, and you can use these, or you could use the ones that are in the sample parts. Either way will be totally fine for collecting your labor. And I'm going to open up the linear folder again. And this is where, in parentheses, you'll see here, let me make this a little larger. You'll see here it's priced per foot, priced per hour, priced per square foot. So it depends on how you'd like to charge for your work. In particular, for your drywall, do you do this per hour, per square foot?
For square foot, but we want to be able to track it per hour. Can we do that?
So let's use wall labor per square foot per hour. And if this isn't what you're looking for, we can always use a different one as well. So same as we did before, I'm going to click and hold on this, drag this over here, and then put that onto our takeoff tool. Just as a reminder, we can have this inherit, just so if you're using this later, you can change that information and have it auto-populate down here. Now, kind of similar to the material coverage that we covered earlier, labor production is saying how many square feet can we cover in 1 hour?
Yeah, let's say right now, let's say in one hour. Well, let me do it right now. 25 sheets times 48 equals 1 divided by 8 equals 150 square footage.
150?
Yeah, per hour.
So that's going to be the labor production. In 1 hour, we can do 150 square feet.
Yes.
Your cost is whatever you're going to charge for an hour of work.
You see it, Carla?
Yeah, I see.
So let's say $96 an hour. That's for our estimating, Carla and Brian, all right? That's for our estimating. When we do the prevailing wage to say, but it's about 115. Yeah, go ahead and put 115 if you don't mind.
And the cost?
Yeah, on the cost each. There you go.
And then this particular labor part is going to tell you how many hours this job will take for your drywall based on the labor production that you gave it, which was that 150 square feet per hour that we specified. And then again, what that would cost over this period of time.
Do you see it, Brian?
Yeah.
There you go. Carla? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Now, I want to make sure that we talk about saving this so that as you're working on your assemblies later on here before your next session, you have the ability to save anything that you create. So the first step for saving things would be to create a custom template. And I know Sam already has one here, but just to go over how that works, we're going to go over to templates at the top of the screen. And then in templates, we would select new tab. And this would create a new template for us.
Go ahead and let's save it. Let's save it as test number, group or test. Put a test number 1.
And so this is going to create a template with the name test 1. Once you have that template, you want to go back over to estimating. This is where we created our assembly. We want to come over to this right-hand side. This is where we have access to our templates. And now we're going to find our new template. Or whatever your custom template is, if you wanted to go to Sam's template or any other existing templates you may have.
So we can reuse a saved template. Can we reuse it for later future jobs?
Absolutely. You could add more things to Sam's template right here, and you could use those on any job. We do recommend that as you're creating things that you save them in your own template. So whether that be Sam's template or test 1 or whatever your custom template may be, just so that they're separate from the things that came with the program. And that way, just in case something goes wrong, you know what the thing you were working on is, and you still have access to the original one.
I see. This is so just give it another name, save it, and give it another name. Right?
I'm not quite sure I understand.
Yeah, like if we saved the template of test 1, we just, let's say we have 3 templates, test 1, test 2, test 3. We can reuse it, whatever we want to use, either test 3, test 2, or test 1, correct?
I'm not quite sure I understand your question.
It's okay. It's okay. Just let's get it going.
You can, if I understand where you're coming from, you can reuse these templates on any job. And you can save any information that you create within any one of your custom templates. So you could save this to test 1, you could save this to Sam's template, you could create new templates for test 2 and test 3. And you'll have access to those templates on any job that you are working on later in the future.
There you go.
Now, when we were creating this assembly, we were pulling our parts from the right-hand side and dropping them onto the tool. And now we're going to do the exact opposite. So I'm going to click and hold on the tool from the left-hand side and drag it over and drop it into the template here. And by clicking on the tool and bringing that over, it takes all of the sub-items as well. So it saves the whole assembly. And this is saved with the cost that you specified, with your labor production, with your material coverage, the dimensions of your drywall board, everything that we did to create this particular assembly.
So you only click and drag the test 1, and it's gonna bring everything to the right side automatically.
Yes. By clicking on the tool, so the thing that says test, it takes all of the sub items of of the tool.
Okay, I see.
And so we saved the whole assembly by clicking on the tool and dragging this over. Now, you could save individual parts if you wanted to, like maybe you just want to save your labor part. If you choose to do that, I do recommend adjusting the name or the description or something to reflect that this is for a linear tool, so that you know later on where you need to apply it. The other thing that you could do is you could create a folder within your template that's specific for linear parts. So you could say that this folder is for my linear parts and have that folder here, and then you could save it to that folder. But if you choose to save parts, just make sure that you're denoting that somewhere so that when you're using them later, you know what tools you need to apply them to.
Got it.
But if you just wanted to save the part, you could click and hold on the part and then drop it over here as well. And that will save just the part.
Got it.
And before I ask if you have any questions, the last thing that I just want to show you today is how to utilize the things that you create once you've saved them. So if you're on a new job or on a different page within the same job, you can utilize this assembly that you've created. You could go anywhere. So this is what we were working on earlier. Maybe we need to go down to this page and we need a new takeoff here. Maybe we have a new wall height and a new drywall size. We'll come over here, hover over the tool, and then click this little green dot. And this is what starts your tool. And here you'll specify your wall height to whatever you need that to be. And then you'll perform takeoff just like you have anywhere else. And the benefit of creating your assemblies in this way is that this is going to collect your material items at the same time that you are collecting the surface of the walls as you click around your plan.
All right.
Now, what questions do you have?
Guys, do you have any questions?
No, everything's pretty very self-explanatory. I like it, easy to follow.
Brian.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. So I know it's getting to the hour, so probably in the next session, I'll write down my questions. That way we can go ahead to the next training.
Absolutely. As you're working with this, write down any questions that you run into, and we can start with those questions at the beginning of our next training session, and we can kind of build from there, depending on where you want to go with it.
There you go. Well, thank you. Thank you for your help. Thank you for that training.
Of course, you're very welcome. And I know at the beginning of our session, we had a little bit of trouble getting it going just because of the password issue that was coming up. So I'm going to leave 15 minutes just to roll over because we didn't get to utilize that first 15 minutes very well. So I'm going to let that roll over on your account just so you'll have that available later. If you're running into that issue with the password coming up again, I would definitely give our tech team a call and see if that's something they can help you resolve.
Yeah. Thank you for the 15 minutes. We really need it. There's more things that we need to cover, but I think we got a good training today. Appreciate it.
Of course, you're very welcome. Well, when you're ready to set up your next training session, you can do it the same way you set up this one. If you emailed us, you can send us an email or give us a call whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your time today. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Ya miraron cómo es, ¿eh? Brian.
Sí.
Ok, entonces, está bien, ¿no? Al rato nos miramos en las 2:30, entonces, voy a guardar este training para que lo vuelvan a ver, ¿ok?
Ok.
Y ya de esa manera se les voy a mandar para que lo vuelvan a ver, porque ya se fijaron, ¿sí estás aquí, Carla, o ya te fuiste? ¿Aquí estás,
Aquí
Carla?
ando.
Sí, sí se fijaron que está más fácil.
Sí, pero espérame, ando cruzando.
Especialmente nomás por los materiales y lo que queremos hacer de las horas. Sí se fijaron aquí en las horas que queremos hacer. Este es bien importante que quería que, y también el corner beat, porque el corner beat no lo agarran por algún motivo, ¿no? Entonces, ya nos dieron el corner beat, ya nos dieron también las horas, el labor. Después lo vamos a platicar más en detalle, pero les voy a mandar a los dos les voy a mandar la repetición, ¿ok? El recording, para que lo miren. ¿Ok? Brian.
Ok, está bien.
¿Mandé?
Les voy a mandar el recording después, para que lo miren.
Lo primero,
Oh, sí.
Para que lo miren y de esa manera le agarremos más el rollo. Los miro a las 2:30, Carla. Después de las 2:30 quería que platicar contigo y con el Pichichi. ¿Sí podrás venir para acá, para la casa?
a las 2:30, déjame ver, ando cruzando de Tijuana. ¿Está bien si te aviso con tiempo?
Sí, me avisas porque quería platicar contigo y con el Pichichi. Cosas importantes que quería platicarlas, que estén aquí pues conmigo unos 15 minutos, pero me hablas cómo andas de tiempo.
Ok, está bien.
Quedamos, Brian. Take it easy. Gracias por meterte. Ahí estamos. ¿Ok?
Bye. Gracias. Bye.
Bye.